congressman for Minnesota's 1st District for 12 years, and now sharing his thoughts with us on the Al Travis Show. It's Congressman Gil Gutknecht.
Always absolutely love having the congressman on, Mr. Gutknecht. Congressman, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well.
All right. You and I, all of southern Minnesota, well, this guy's had a real loss this week. We mentioned on the show that Bob Wertz passed. A big guy here in my neck of the woods, Winnebago for sure, all of southern Minnesota. One of the guys we actually had on the show one time, Len Dahm, is this Warrior basketball team coach. Knew nothing about it until Bob gets his hands out there. He out of school, fixed a gym up. Anyway, he goes, got to have this guy on, Al. And I did. It's a wonderful program that he's got going on. These girls learning basketball. They can't pay for, the traveling basketball teams. And they work with the mentally handicapped folks in town. They team up together. So these girls go and watch them go bowling. And these guys come over here and watch them play. It's a win-win all the way around. And as soon as Bob passed, Len asked if he could come on and do a tribute to Bob. I said, I'd love that, but I think his funeral's on Thursday. I don't have an open slot. You and I are going to talk about Bob, but do you mind if I read the letter he sent me about Bob? Just quick.
Please do. Please do.
This is from Len Dahm, the Warrior volleyball coach. This week, we lost one of the great ones, a friend, a mentor, and a true patriarch for the Minnesota Warriors family. When the Warriors were nothing more than a dream, just an idea to give kids in small towns a chance to play, to belong, and grow, Mr. Bob Wertz made it possible. When the Winnebago gym became available, Bob was there. When doubts crept in, Bob was there. When things got tough, Bob's word echoed loud and clear. Just get it done. Just do it. He believed when others didn't. He supported when others waited. He pushed for us forward when we were scared to take the next step. Our very first season, we had just one team, 10 kids, and Bob stood in that gym smiling and like it was a packed stadium. He told those players how proud the community was of them, and he said he wished there were 100 kids there that night. Today, we're well on our way to reaching that goal, grown by over 700% in volleyball alone, and now serving kids, veterans, and individuals with special needs across southern Minnesota. Bob never wanted recognition for what he had done. He didn't look for thanks or applause. He just wanted to see good things happen for others. When he needed equipment from Illinois, he offered his truck, full tank, ready to go, called to make sure we made it home safe. When I told him I still needed to fill the truck back up, he couldn't hear of it. That's who he was, always helping, always giving, always believing. Bob Wertz wasn't just a supporter. He was the foundation of what we built. His spirit, his kindness, and his unwavering faith in people will live on in every child, every veteran, and every game played under the Warriors' name. Thank you, Bob. We'll never be a part. You'll forever be part of our heart of our team. That's Bob. I knew Bob Wertz by name since the moment I moved into Blue Earth. He had helped set up the doctor's office in Winnebago, and I knew the doctor. I had heard of this Bob Wertz. Then you knew he owned the quarry, right? So okay, Bob. And then you heard Bob maybe he had something to do with the sod farm over here. But you just knew Bob was a player. And then, it had to been 5 years ago when we started the program. Bob all of a sudden wants to be a part. He calls, what are you doing down there? And he's talking to me. I'm like, this is the Bob Wertz I've been hearing about. Instantly he sponsored the program. He calls the local radio station. I want him on. And he helped this program get going. And from the moment you meet Bob, your life has changed forever. Here's what he do. He calls me up. We're going to lunch, Al. And we sit there, and he wants to know my whole dream for this radio program, what it's going to do. And then he gets talking about some of the stuff he does. And then we were buddies. And what I mean by buddies, the ethanol plant in Winnebago was being sold for like the second or third time. He calls me up, 7 o'clock on a Saturday. Al, what can we do with that building? Somehow I have any clue, but he just wants to brainstorm. So we brainstorm. Fun. 3 in the morning one day, my phone rings. It's Bob. I've been thinking about that thing you said about the ethanol plant, and he's got 101 things he's going down here on. Yeah. He's just calling, wanting the BS with me about I absolutely love the guy. Amazed at his eclecticness. There's the ethanol plant. I absolutely bring up saying, really one thing you could do is possibly make like vodka out of it. You could change it into a liquor plant. Oh, I used to do that back in the day. I don't want to. I'm like, there's nothing this guy didn't do. I know you knew him, and I suppose since the days you were actually a congressman. Your thoughts on Bob? I just cherish the man.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain people that you meet during your life that you never forget. And Bob was one
Exactly.
of those kinds of people. I mean, he the first time I met Bob was after the Winnebago parade.
Okay.
We were finishing up, and he was on the side, and he waved to me. He said, "Come on over, come on over." And so I went over, and he said, he said, I kind of like, the things that you talk about and what you believe. He said, I want to support you. And from that point on, he probably became one of my most loyal supporters as a member of Congress. And he would invite me down to meetings. I mean, he had the ability to bring together business
Oh,
people and political figures. I mean, and he was tireless.
yeah.
Your
Yes.
description is really so accurate. And he people that knew him realized that he had a heart the size of Faribault County.
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
there's so many things in that part of the world that would not have happened without Bob Wirtz. Okay,
Yeah.
he in Genesis Academy there in
There.
Winnebago
The
would not
school.
have happened without Bob Wirtz. We know that his involvement was critical in getting that veterans facility that's west of Winnebago. I mean,
Uh,
you talk
Bravo
about the
Zulu House.
volleyball
Yeah.
kids. I
Yeah.
mean, the story really goes on and on and on. And I think what the gentleman wrote is so true. He didn't really want any credit. Many people did not know how many things he was involved with. He helped support choral groups.
Yeah.
Uh, he was a big supporter of the Minnesota Gophers, for
Yeah.
example. I mean, there are just so many things that he did and accomplished during his life. And tragically, he was called home before, you know,
A
his
lot of
time.
yeah.
And like all of us, well, like most of us, no, like none of us, he had a whole lot of things left in his inbox when it was time to go home. And we're going to miss him. I mean, he's going
Uh,
to be sorely missed.
Absolutely. The school, he bought the Winnebago school because they didn't want it torn down. He knew something could happen. That's where the Warrior volleyball team comes. He refurbished the whole thing, redid the floors, did the thing. That's one of the things. He calls me up, Al, come on up to Winnebago. And we ate at the local shop there, which isn't open now, the thing. And then we walked over there, and he wanders me through this whole 150-year-old building, room by room. What do you think you'd go in there, Al? You know what? If I did this and if I hooked up, don't worry, I got the cable. The cable people hook up. He had he didn't see anything the way it was. He saw
Right.
everything the way it could be if we did it
Exactly.
right. I've never met a man the same as Bob Wirtz. So, for folks who's played in his neck of the woods, to the family and friends of Bob, our prayers go out to you. And Bob was a very religious man. Prayers to he and his wife and the family. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for the whole community to
The only
recover
thing we
from
can,
it.
yeah, he was a man of tremendous faith,
Yeah.
and I have no doubt that he will be welcomed home.
Oh, he absolutely, completely agree. All right, thank you for taking the time out of your time to do that. I wanted to do that for Len, and well, I wanted to do it anyway. Thank you. Let's talk some politics before we get to the break. Quick, we're 3 weeks into a shutdown, so this you and I did talk about it before the last time we were on. Since then, Trump has found a way to pay some people. The troops, as an example, he told the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, find the money. So I don't know if they stopped building a ship. Whatever they did, they found the money to pay our troops. I personally thought, bravo, why hasn't somebody figured this thing out before? Because, you know, these guys are in harm's way. People shoot at them. We should pay them no matter what.
Right.
Some on the other side say he's picking winners and losers in this and are ripping him for it. Your thoughts on the shutdown of us paying as many people as we can? Maybe I'm missing something.
No, you're not missing anything, and I think it's a bit of envy. I mean, you hit it right. I mean, why didn't we think of this? But what really bothers them is, and this is why this is going to probably end within the next week.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think that the Democrats polling reflects what the Republican polling is showing, and that is the Democrats are losing, the Republicans and the president are winning, at least in terms of the approval numbers.
Yeah.
And I think the longer it goes on, at some point, I think Schumer has to say, we got to cut our losses. And if he doesn't say it, his members are going to say it, because he's got a significant number of them up for election next year in districts or in states that clearly could switch sides in the election. So in a year in which the Democrats should actually be gaining seats next year, As the playing field stands right now, and even in states like New Jersey and Virginia, it looks like the Republicans have a very good chance of picking up a couple of governorships. And so the longer this goes on, I think the worse it is for the Democrats. And at some point, they have to find some kind of a truce and get out of this mess. And I think, the one thing people have underestimated Donald Trump for so long, whether we're talking about the Middle East, whether we're talking about Ukraine, whether we're talking about the border, whether we're talking about tariffs, on virtually every front, the experts all say, well, that can't be done. And Trump says, it can be done. Here's how we're going to do it. And, he has, in many respects, he is a little like Bob Weirtz in that he has an incredible sense of optimism. He believes in the country. He believes that things can be done, and he doesn't sleep. So
that's exactly. They were much more like that.
and it's amazing how much you can accomplish if you've got all those qualities.
That is funny. I'm going to go to break. I want to throw this at you. You can think about it. Maybe you know the answer, and I'm not trying to set you up. So the continuing resolution 3 weeks ago was supposed to get us through the first week in November before we'd have to do it again. The fact that we're 3 weeks later now, does this continuing resolution only get us to the first week in November again, or has it slid everything back to mid-December, in which case we have the next problem coming up? I don't know. The continuing resolution, is it still safe? Would it only be worth 2-3 weeks? Is that what we're talking about? We'll do it after this with Congressman Gil Gutknecht.
You need a friend at the Capitol who knows how to get things done.
And you're in luck, because that's exactly who we are, your friends at the Capitol, and we deliver results.
At Momentum Advocacy, we bring decades of experience in lobbying, public affairs, and crisis communications.
From local nonprofits to national corporations, we help you move policy, manage your media, and make your voice heard.
We're not just seasoned pros, we're essential partners.
Momentum Advocacy, your friends at the Capitol. Learn more at momentum-advocacy.com.
Braver Angels Minnesota is part of a national movement that brings together conservatives, liberals, independents, and others to restore trust, respect, and goodwill in politics. We seek not to eliminate our differences, but rather deal with them head on, with respect and understanding. We do not try to change people's views, but how they view the other side. There will always be differences. Braver Angels Minnesota believes the best way forward is to change how we deal with those differences. Join the civil conversation at mn.braverangels.org.
The Al Travis Show, the last place you can go and hear all sides. Respectful, thoughtful, and grateful.
I don't think I put that question out there right. Here's my point. Continuing resolution was a 6-week resolution, which would have got us a mid-November. Is it still a 6-week resolution, in which case now we're looking mid-December? Or was it a stop date there, and literally if they pass this thing, we got 3 weeks to get done whatever we thought we could do in 6? How does a continuing resolution work? Do you know on this one, sir? And it's not a trick question. If we're going to pass this thing and 3 weeks later we're right in the same boat, it seems weird.
Right. Well, let's go back to the beginning. Basically, the House passed a 6-week continuing resolution, and it went home. Their work is done, at least in terms of the CR.
Yep.
They weren't, and which was very smart on the part of the Speaker. Okay, there's no point in keeping members around creating trouble, because they're very good at that. All right. So they sent it over to the Senate. So right now, the same resolution is sitting on John Thune's desk, and he has brought it up 6 or 7 times.
Yeah.
But and here's something you need to watch. I think in the last 3 or 4 votes, they've picked up a couple of Democrats each time. So they're now inching close to having the 60 votes to bring it to the floor and pass it. And that would be only through the mid-November. Now, I would bet, or I shouldn't say bet. My instincts tell me what will happen is this. They will reach some kind of an agreement that a new continuing resolution will be passed. The Speaker will bring the House back. They'll pass a new one that will extend probably till December 23rd, maybe 22nd, right before Christmas. And in the interim, I would hope, and this may be a false hope, I would hope that the staff in the House has been working on the remaining bills, so that they'll be almost ready to be voted on in committee and then brought to the floor, and they can be passed before the December 23rd deadline. But that's all conjecture on my part. But having been there and been through this, I think that's probably what's going to happen. I think there will be an agreement. You can put this down. I think there'll be an agreement by Saturday between the House, the Senate.
I love having you on.
White House.
I love having you on because you have been here and done that. I don't want to go. I got 2.5 minutes. We have to talk about the Israeli-Hamas peace deal. Peace in the Middle East, including 23 other countries all getting together and saying, okay, we're going to put pressure on them. Donald Trump did something no one would have put $1 on that he could pull off except Donald Trump. Your thoughts on and how long it lasts, who knows, Middle East peace?
Well, again, I think it's all about Donald Trump, his ability to negotiate and his optimism. I mean, people forget this guy is a guy who believes in this country, believes that big things can be done. He believes that Americans have traditionally done big things. I mean, he may not be a great student of history, but he's doing what Teddy Roosevelt did between the Japanese and the Russians. And he ultimately won the Nobel Peace Prize for it. And frankly, yeah, you know, people are probably saying today, well, Hamas is still fighting. Well, that's all Hamas knows how to do, okay? Yeah. They have literally been almost totally destroyed. And what Donald Trump said the other day is, look, if you don't knock it off, we're going to completely destroy you, okay? Yeah. And he meant the use of whatever it takes from the American military. So ultimately, here again, he is going to prevail. We are going to have a lasting peace in the Middle East. The fact that he was able to bring in all of the Arab leaders as part of this deal is nothing short of amazing. And he deserves an awful lot of credit. He and Secretary of State Marco Rubio have just done a marvelous job. And now he's turning his attention to the Ukraine. And frankly, I think he's probably going to be successful there.
See, it's just amazing to me. Now, again, I don't know how long this lasts. You can't trust Hamas as far as you can throw them. But like you say, if they don't want to be decimated, wiped off the planet, they better start playing along. And I think they believe Trump will do it. I am out of time. Congressman, you know I love having you in the program. I thank you for taking time to talk about Bob with us to start things off. Not a great way, pleasant way to start the program. But I thank you for being there. And I know you are very good friends with Bob. I thank you very much for coming on today.
Oh, my pleasure. And yeah, a great man, and he deserves a tribute.
There you go. All right, we'll be back with more right after this.
Braver Angels Minnesota is part of a national movement that brings together